South Africa has experienced its fair share of economic setbacks in recent years. Load shedding, job losses and sluggish growth at the top of that list. The COVID-19 pandemic has also exacerbated the country's weakened economy. Millions of people were affected and millions more continue to feel the brunt of the pandemic. Many businesses have closed down while others are struggling to stay afloat. Government revenue took a knock last year as the local economy struggled to grow meaningfully. Former Finance Minister Tito Mboweni even came out and said government spending remained too high for the tax base. This gap has likely increased as a result of the 2020 recession and the ongoing global pandemic. But with the global vaccination drive in full effect and due to other factors, the outlook for economic growth is positive. One economist predicts that government revenue may be 150 billion rand higher than what was budgeted for in February.
Fortunately, however, as a result of a number of factors, we have seen economic growth in 2021 recovering far more strongly than had been anticipated. To give you an example, economic growth forecasts are now looking for growth of somewhere in the order of 5 to 5.5% for this year, compared with expectations in February of growth being no more than 3% this year.
South Africa's fiscus is currently unstable and options to stabilize it are limited. Government believes it's well on the road to economic recovery as it is implementing its economic reform agenda to boost investor confidence.
Luckily, in terms of the global economy, the rebound after the crisis, and specifically the mining sector, or broadly commodities, doing so well globally, it has helped enormously because against that 50 to 60 billion rand of unexpected budget, the government has equally on the other side has had something around 40 billion rand of windfall, if you like, from commodity taxation, which has helped enormously.
There are multiple economic and government sectors that are experiencing financial difficulty, and the rolling blackouts are only adding to this burden, hindering economic growth.
13 years later, the pandemic of blackout and shenanigans of politics and abuse of Eskom and so on still with us. So yes, we are in a very, very serious situation. If South African economy was a human body, we would say it's got underlying vulnerabilities, underlying conditions, and one of the biggest underlying problems is that it cannot solve its electricity or its energy problem.
Government has been reluctant to increase tax because this will have a negative effect on the GDP growth. The local economy is expected to rebound by 3.3% this year, following a 7.2% contraction in 2020 and an average of 1.9% in the outer 2 years. But without major reduction in public spending, debt will continue to accumulate and interest payments will displace other spending. Government has previously estimated government debt will be stabilized at 88.9% of GDP in 2025-2026. Nothando Magudulela, SABC News, Johannesburg.